Hello and welcome to our latest tutorial, where we're going to be sharing with you how to make Christmas cards, birthday cards, or perhaps gift tags on the sewing machine, and actually stitching a design or pattern onto the right side of the card. Now you can simply work with different coloured threads, like we've done here, and leave the stitching plain as it is. Or you could add the addition of some bits of fabric, or perhaps some beads, buttons, trimmings. We decided to attach our fabric using a spray glue, such as Spray Mount, or perhaps a fabric adhesive would work well too. So to start, why not think about the design that you want to place on your card or your gift tag, and draw that on with pencil. If you want a little bit of inspiration, then we do have the templates for the Christmas pudding and the robin that you can download from our Christmas decorations. And we'll put a link to that in the description box below. Start by drawing the shape that you want to stitch onto the front or the right side of your card or gift tag. And you want to do that with pencil so that you can rub any of the remaining lines out afterwards. You want to make sure that you position this centrally or in the place that you want, so I'd recommend measuring things with a ruler to make sure that you get everything nice and accurate. If you want some inspiration for designs to be able to draw onto your cards, then you can download our Christmas decorations, and we'll put a link to that in the description box below, and you can use them as little templates like we have here for the robin. Now the best thing about this is that you can simply sew along the drawn lines on the sewing machine. A couple of things that I would recommend is that we're going to be doing a straight stitch here, but you can play with the stitch length. So I'm going to start with 2.5 millimeters, but you could really do smaller stitches or larger stitches. It's up to you and what you want to create. We're going to be working with a standard needle with a size of 90 or 14. And one thing I would recommend here is that perhaps afterwards you may wish to change your needle before going back to fabric, because you may find that working with the paper can make the needle blunt. The other thing is that you don't want to go backwards, because you're going to see that on the right side of your card or your gift tag. So we're going to leave everything as nice long tails, and we're going to thread those through to the wrong side afterwards and knock them off. Now you simply want to find the line, the drawn line of the pencil, and feed that into the center of the foot where the needle's going to be stitching. And here it's when you just need to be accurate. And the best thing about this is that you can change the colours. We're working with brown for the outside of the robin, but we're going to work with red for the breast and another colour for something else. So just keep switching your colours and changing things. And I'd recommend that you take this relatively slow. The problem with this is that once you have sewn through the card, you cannot go back on it because you will have punched a hole through the card. And you may find that you do need to move, if you've got a rather large card that you're working on, you may need to lift it up and sort of move it through the machine. And this is such a fun thing to do. It's a really nice way to personalise your Christmas cards or birthday cards, and to have a bit of fun on the sewing machine with a different kind of resource. Now we're using a different colour to stitch the breast of the robin. And that's the great thing about this, is it's really playful and fun because you can pick up different colours, different stitch lengths. Obviously you can add sort of details of fabric or beads or trims and really personalise these cards or gift tags. You can even write on them if you want to. I'd recommend again that you draw that on in pencil first, but you can use templates if you'd rather not sort of freehand draw things. So here I'm going to be turning around again. So I've got my needle into my card, lifting up the presser foot and turning. And as I said, you may find you sort of have to move it through the nook of the machine at times. And when I get back to the start, I'm going to try and go back in on the same sort of hole of the stitch previously, just so that it looks really neat. And you may find that you have to use the hand wheel to do that. And you may even need to shift the card slightly, but that will look really neat when you're done. Once you're happy with how you've stitched everything from the right side of your piece of card or your gift tag or whatever you're making, we need to tidy up the threads. So we're going to turn this over to the wrong side. And what you're going to do now is you need to pull on the threads. So I'm just going to give them a little tug, and you may find that you could do with a pin or the nib of a pencil or something, just to pull them through. And what we're doing is if you pull on one of the threads, you should be able to pull them through from the other side to then tie them in a knot together, and that will fasten them off, but it will make sure that on the right side everything is nice and neat, because you can see that one's gone now. So now I need to deal with this other red one. So I'm going to pull on that one. Again, use a pin or the nib of a pencil just to pick up the loop that it is created. Pull that through and tie them in a knot together. And you're going to do this for all of them. Once you've tied them in the knot, then I would just cut the threads off just above the knot to make sure it's all nice and secure and nice and neat. Once you've tied a knot, I just would get a small pair of scissors and trim them off relatively close to the knot. And that should give us a really nice, neat finish on the right side. Now I've just got this one to do up here. Once you're happy that you've tied off all of the threads from the right side, I would recommend that you rub out any of the markings that you drew on in your pencil as a starting point to make sure that you've got a really nice finish. And then it's really up to you how you want to decorate the rest of it, whether you want to add some fabric or perhaps sew on a bead or a button for the eye. And obviously you could do that by hand if you wanted to. You could sew some fabric on the sewing machine, or you could simply stick some on with some spray mount or a fabric adhesive. For the stockings, we decided to stitch a row for the hanging of the stockings along the top, and then actually to simply stick these on with a little bit of spray mount or fabric adhesive. So it's really up to you to have a little bit of a play and see how you get on and what you want to create. And there you have it, your stitched cards or gift tags. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and found it fun to sew on something other than fabric. Thanks for watching.